Welcome to Conversations with Malik. And this is technically our first show of the new year.
That's right.
Yeah. First show of the new year.
Why we don't have potato salad and collard greens and black peas? You know, you supposed to have that for the New Year's.
Yeah, we had that at the New Year's Eve party. You got to come next year.
After the fact, now you tell me.
Yeah,
Right.
well, after the fact, you'll be at the next one. And listen, you know, I'm happy. Happy New Year's to everybody.
Happy New Year, my brother.
Listen, please don't forget to follow us at convoswithmalik.com.
That's right.
Convoswithmalik.com. We on Facebook at Conversations with Malik.
Instagram, Con W Malik.
Yeah, man. We on Apple, iTunes,
Stitcher,
Spotify, YouTube channel. You know, we're here. I want to shout out to everybody who, you know, makes the show possible.
That's right.
I want to give Kareem the Dream, our engineer
extraordinaire
for all of the hard work that he did this past year and making sure our sounds and the quality and the music was right.
That's right.
Yo, Justin Moss, listen, shout out to
Justin
you.
Moss.
Website, media marketer, guru, you are the best.
Yeah.
We love you, man. You know, shout out to Dawn Michelle for everything that she's done. Dawn Michelle promotion.
Dawn.
For all that she's done and continue to do. Wendell, you know, listen, our camera guy, you know what I'm saying? Our camera guy who makes it all possible. Yeah. You know, Laugh and Learn Place, Tracy and Malik's Bus Company, Cheese Bus Inc. You know, listen, it's a group effort to make this possible.
That's right.
And I just want to shout everybody out, you know, for just for everything to make this past year a success with all of the hard work that went in.
And thanks for the ones that came to the party, too, because, you know, that was our anniversary. You know, we had some people that came to represent despite the weather.
Yes.
They still came out to represent.
Yes.
And we appreciate that. We're going to still continue keep pushing the envelope with the show.
Yes.
And we appreciate y'all support.
No doubt, man. So listen, I'm here with co-host with the most. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. New year for me, man. You know, I got a bunch of things in store.
Okay.
You know, I'm just trying to kind of implement things and keep things positive, of course, as we move and be more creative of how we do things, and you know, just ready for the new year, man.
Yeah.
How about you, man?
Yo, I'm good, man. And listen, you know, we have a great show lined up today. We got today word of the day. We got some current events we're gonna talk about, and you know, we're here with a guest. Once I got her information and knew that she was coming on. First of all, she's as beautiful as ever.
Exactly.
Right.
I wanted to say that, but I didn't want her to think it's a fix.
Yeah. You know, she's as beautiful as ever. And then, you know, we're here with Maria Davis. He's in the house.
Am I supposed to clap for myself? Yeah, why not? Why not? It's 2019. Clap for yourself.
She could clap. You could clap for yourself. She's an HIV activist. Music insider,
yes.
Yeah.
But
yes,
we could go on and on because her bio is extensive,
very extensive.
You know, listen, she's done great things in the music industry. You know, she's worked with some of the big celebrities. You know, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, right? Usher. She's done some wonderful things, but she's also, you know, been through some trials and tribulations.
Right.
And you know, so we're gonna talk to her about her wonderful story, but we always start with the word of the day. And what we do with the word of the day, you know, the word of the day, we talk about it for 30 seconds to a minute, each one of us, and talk about how that word works in our lives and how we've used it in our life to start to show off on a positive note.
Right.
So listen, when I thought about her, I thought about perseverance. And you know, talk to me, Jeff. What does perseverance mean to you?
I was gonna throw it back to you. I'm still kind of gathering because this means a whole lot to me. So I'm still kind of gathering. So I need for somebody to at least start it off. So I was gonna throw it back to you real quick.
Yeah, but you can't do that because I'm the host.
Hey, listen. You know,
right?
I mean, for me, we all go through trials and errors, and you know, when I hear that word, that's one of the first things I think of, and how you bounce back. Because some of us, we give up, you know, but a lot of times through the errors that we've been through, we don't really understand sometimes that that'll actually help us to become a lot much stronger.
Right.
So bouncing back, because, you know, I've bounced back from some of the stuff that I've been through, you know, with the a failed marriage for 26 years,
Right.
and being able to still be
26
around.
years.
Yeah, well,
You look like you 12.
I've been in my relation. I've been with my wife for 26 years.
Oh, okay.
And thank you for that. I do look young, but I always think about bouncing back, and when I hear the word perseverance, that's the first thing that comes to my mind is, having at least the mindset to think about bouncing back, to get yourself back right mentally, physically, but it starts with the mental first.
No doubt.
Perseverance.
What about you, Maria?
Oh, I'm going to throw that back at you.
Yeah, right.
Because you the host.
It's a lot.
I can do that.
It's a lot,
No, persevere, When I think of persevere, I think of my ancestors coming over on a slave ship. And some made it, some didn't make it because they rather die where they were than to be brought over here as a slave, be bound and chained. So when you think of persevere, I think of the ones that came over, the ones that had to endure all that they endured, and that they made it.
Yeah.
Some died on the way, but if it wasn't for their death and for their living, we wouldn't even know what persevere means, because persevere is serious.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That means, hella high water, whatever you going through, you have to see your way
I
out.
see your way out. Yeah.
And my faith is the most important thing to me.
Yes.
And you can't persevere, and that goes alongside of faith.
Yeah.
And our ancestors, they didn't know the biblical Bible like we knew, because they were not from this country or they weren't from here, but they knew God.
Yes.
And so you can't say persevere and don't say God at the same time.
There you go.
And that's who holds our hand through all our trials and tribulations. That's what really that's the glue to hold you together. Because if you think you could persevere on your own, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You need that spiritual push. You need the God. You need support of friends and families, of course, but you need God first and foremost. So when I think of persevere, I think of God and I think of my ancestors. And when I thought of both of them, when I was dealing with my struggle, I'm like, if they can make it, I know I can make it.
There you go. And listen, well said. And that's kind of, you kind of stole my thunder, because that's what I was gonna say. Persevering. I need power to persevere.
Absolutely.
And where am I going to get the power from?
Right.
I'm going to get the power from God.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's not going to come from me.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And so when I really take my mind off. So when I have to persevere, that means I have to endure through something. And when I'm enduring, there's one or two things going on in my mind. One of the things is that I'm fearful that whatever it is that I'm in, the situation I'm in, is going to destroy me.
Absolutely.
Or I fear that I'm going to lose something that I already have. And with those fears, I need God.
Yeah.
So that I can have faith, so I can live in the moment. I can stay in the moment right now. I know that all is going to be well, in a nutshell. And listen, so your story is a story of perseverance.
Yes, it is.
You were diagnosed with HIV in 1995, and in those days, it was like a death sentence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what that was like.
It's so funny because I remember reading the letter from the insurance company telling me that we're sorry you being rejected for your life insurance policy, because I had applied for a policy of $100,000. And when you want a policy that large, you can't have a pre-existing condition.
Right.
So if you had cancer or you had HIV, they would not take you on. So when they asked me to take the test, I was like, what? Of course.
Yeah.
Because we thought HIV was AIDS at the time was a gay white man's disease, because they didn't know it was HIV then.
Right.
They didn't know that HIV, they didn't discover that HIV was the virus that breaks down the immune system that gives you,
to AIDS.
that leads to AIDS.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so back then they were calling it GRID, gay man's health-related immunodeficiency.
Okay.
And so nobody thought none of us, of people of color, thought, Latinos or African Americans, we thought that we would be, that this epidemic would take over our community the way it has done.
Right.
And that African Americans and Latinos would have the leading numbers in HIV and AIDS infections.
How did you contract it?
In a relationship with a guy I ain't gonna say it's out the country, because every time I say out the country, the country want to attack me. But it was a gentleman that I was dating. I was gonna move to that country and change my life around, because I thought it was, I got hypnotized by the sun and the beautiful country.
Okay.
But secrets lie everywhere.
So y'all were having a long distance relationship.
A long distance
But
relationship.
it was monogamous. You weren't messing with anybody
Nope.
else.
Okay.
Nope. He was, but I wasn't.
Well, obviously. Now, was he messing with another man?
I do not know that. I can't vouch for nobody.
Wow.
I can't vouch for, but where I was, it was a lot of, I guess, people with women would come on vacation, and that when they came on vacation, they
Right.
came to see the men in the town.
Where were you?
In Jamaica.
You were in Jamaica.
Jamaica, in the grill. I was in the
In the
grill.
grill? Yeah. I was just in the grill. over the
Yeah,
summer.
I still love Negril, but when I started telling people that he was from Jamaica, oh my God, the whole Jamaican community was like, I was like, I'm not saying Jamaica has AIDS or HIV.
Right.
I'm just saying this gentleman that I was dealing with had it.
So, obviously, he didn't know he had it.
I don't know if he
You
knew.
don't know if he knew.
I knew
But-
his aunt. Me and his aunt were very close, and I told her, and she said she think he knew because he would go up to the bush doctor and get some kind of
Medication.
potion or some health something.
So with that being said, at that point, you had this relationship with this man, and knowing that there was some suspicion that he did know, did you feel betrayed at that point?
No, because it was my choice. It's so funny. I'm going to a women's networking pop-up tomorrow, and the gentleman wants me to come there to talk to a young sister who's HIV positive. The guy's incarcerated. He calls her and tells her he gave her the virus. So she's very angry. And when he said it to me, he said, so what advice would she have? I said, the advice is live and forgive. Because you can't live if you don't forgive.
How serious were y'all?
I was serious, apparently. He wasn't serious.
Was it long term? How long were y'all together?
Yeah, for like a year.
For like a year. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's pretty long term.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was going to move out there and everything. I was getting to, going to grow the rasters in my hair. They're short now, but, then I was going to do it.
So at the time you had children, your children were by someone else.
Yes.
And
So
one was 7.
that's the one great thing that I did not infect my 2 children.
So one was 7,
One was
14.
7 and Josh was 14. Jonna was 7 and Josh was 14.
That's my son's name.
What was that like telling them?
Well, Jonna was 7, but
So he was a little.
yeah, she was a little, but my son was 14. He figured it out. He would hear me talk about T cells. He saw back then they had the medication, was open about medications.
Commercials was on TV a lot.
And so he figured it out that I had the virus. So he was acting out in school terribly. So, it was really nothing I could do but be honest and talk to him. I wanted him to get into counseling. His father didn't want him to get into counseling. And I think that is a grave mistake in our community. We don't address mental health in our community.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot on the show.
Yeah,
I myself, when I was going through what I was going through, I felt, I have a lot of supportive friends in my life, just like Malik, and they've given me some advice, but a lot of them don't really have the answers. Sometimes professional help is better.
And they don't have the answers neither.
Right.
They
A lot of
let
them
you
don't have-
find the
they
answers
let you
out on
find
your
out.
own after
But
you
talk
talk to yourself.
speaking to a professional, sometimes it usually helps because it's more like a massage to your
Non-judgmental.
non-judgmental. Exactly.
And when they see you, they talk to you, they let you air whatever you have to air out. And you kind of really talking to them, but you're also speaking to your own spirit too. So let me tell you something. Mental health in our community, we've all been traumatized. This is a post-slavery, we still have not healed from slavery.
No.
No.
Never happened.
And that, to me, is the bigger picture of the African American demise.
Oh, yeah.
Whether we're in Africa or whether we're
Yeah.
here, whether we're in Barbados, whether we're in Haiti, we hate each other for no apparent reason.
And not only that, but there's a lot of different effects of it. You know, the hating each other, not sticking together,
Yeah.
keeping secrets. You know, we're big at secret tellers. Some of the men aren't affectionate because their fathers
Weren't affectionate to
affectionate
them.
to them.
Because
Absolutely.
you didn't get too affectionate because you never knew when you were gonna be removed.
Absolutely.
So
I didn't even think about that.
you-
That's
you-
a good
you
point.
never knew when you were gonna be sold off. So it was like, yeah, you loved your kids, but you wanted to protect yourself so
Right.
you're not too crushed
Right.
because
Right.
you wake. They sold people, and you found out in the morning.
That's
You
right.
found out in the morning.
That's right.
Doing roll call. Who was sold?
Right.
I mean, and you would just get sold.
And
And
that
you
that
could
was
get
it.
sold far. Now, you were blessed if you got sold
To
someplace
the next
local
plantation,
where
yeah.
y'all would kind of see each other in passing. You would see each other down at the market, whatever it was. But if you was in Alabama and you got sold to Mississippi, you may
Absolutely.
never see them again.
Absolutely.
In most cases. So there's a lot of different,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different dynamics. But so listen, Magic got diagnosed.
Right.
There were also people who were dying from
Absolutely.
AIDS, which HIV.
A
turns
lot of
into
celebrities
AIDS.
died.
Eazy-E.
People don't even know Howard
Howard
Rollins.
Rollins, yeah.
You know, a Soldier Story. You had Sylvester.
Right,
You had Liberace.
right.
Even though he wasn't African American, but you
Yeah,
had a
it's just
lot
people
of
were dying.
yeah,
I forgot
people
about
were
him.
dying.
People were dying in the community. People that you knew were getting skinny, and you would see them at the mall or at the shop mart, and their face started getting gray.
Right.
Arthur Ashe.
Off the ash. Yeah,
But he
wow.
died because of a blood transfusion. But he was also,
Yeah,
he died because and at the time, I don't think when Arthur Ashe died, I don't know if medicines was in existence yet because medications didn't come on because I was diagnosed in 95. When I was diagnosed, there was no medication yet.
okay.
All they had was AZT. And that was it seemed
remember that.
hopeful, but it wasn't because it was a failed cancer treatment. So what they were giving people was 5 times more of AZT
Trying
than
to
they
knock out,
needed,
trying
to knock it out. But at the end, people wind up dying.
How was that like taking that medication?
Oh,
Was
I
there
didn't take.
any-
Oh, no. When I first started, people was like, "Do not take AZT. Do not take AZT."
So what was your treatment plan?
It wasn't nothing at the time. I didn't start medication until 1999, and by that time, I was diagnosed with AIDS. I didn't want to take medication.
So you did reach AIDS,
Yeah, I'm
and okay, but
20 years living with AIDS. This month December made 20 years
yeah, but you're undetectable now.
undetectable.
But we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
want to stay. So, people are dying from celebrities to just people from the hood. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? And take me back to where you were. Like, okay, wow, what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
What was going on? Tell me about, because I know you had to be in a dark place.
I was in a dark place, but I wasn't in a dark place.
Okay.
You know why? God is so important in your life. So even though you battling on one side, the demons telling you you're going to die. But
That's
I
what they were
had
saying?
God telling me I was going to live.
Part of you felt like you were gonna die.
Right. Oh, I thought I was going to die.
Did you ever feel physically like
Yeah.
I'm dying?
Yeah, I had MAC. I had Mycobacterium avium complex. I had an opportunistic infection that a lot of people don't get. And I didn't only have it in my bloodstream, I had
I
it in
heard of Mac. You had Mac?
in my bone marrow also.
Are you serious?
I had MAC. I done had PCP pneumonia, cellulitis. Now I just got my right hip done. I'm getting ready to get my left hip done. I have avascular necrosis, the rubbing of the
Yeah, the rubbing,
bones.
the bone is rubbing.
Yeah, very painful.
So you had Mac.
MAC.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember when I got diagnosed with MAC because I was very fatigued. And it was a black woman, actually, in another clinic. I was doing this ride called the AIDS ride, Boston to New York. And they made the money for this clinic called Callan Lord.
Okay.
And Callan Lord was a clinic down in the village. So they really catered to, transgender population, the gay population, LGBT population. So I was very uncomfortable
Lower
going
East
there.
Side had a lot of stuff going
Lower
on.
East
Yeah, I remember
Side.
that.
And I wasn't uncomfortable because it was LGBT. I was uncomfortable because I needed to see black women like me.
Okay.
That's what I needed to see. And I didn't know of any.
Okay.
And so this female doctor, I was saying I was fatigued. Oh my gosh, I was like 95 pounds. And she said, did anybody ever test you for MAC? And I was like, no. And she tested me, and that's what I had, MAC.
Wow. Because if you didn't get diagnosed for it, it might have killed you.
And that's when
Because it's the things that you contract that kill you.
Yes.
Because your immune system is
Can't
low.
fight
It's
it
not
off.
The
You can't fight it
actual
off.
right.
disease.
You can't fight it off because the HIV, the cells connect to your good DNA, and it turns it into bad RNA. So,
RNA.
RNA.
So the virus is very small.
So how long?
People don't
said
even
it's like
know.
artificial intelligence
And-
is self-aware.
And not only that, you have HIV-1, you have HIV-2.
Right.
Then you have HIV-1, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Oh, different stages.
Different strands of HIV.
Are you?
So someone that's living in parts of Africa and some of the Caribbean have HIV-1C, which is a very aggressive. That's the HIV I think I had because I contracted it from a gentleman in the Caribbean. And then you have HIV-1B, which is most Americans have here in the United States. That is less aggressive. So you have people I met people 30, 40 years living with HIV
Yeah, they've been
and
living
never
for a
had
long
AIDS.
time.
Yep, never had AIDS. I got diagnosed in 95, then I had AIDS by 1998.
But they've been, of course, having treatment and getting treatment. and
Yeah, but 30 and 40 years, that was the beginning. There was no real treatment.
stuff. Right.
Right.
So you know what? We all have a mission in life.
So you guys are like little trailblazers. You're pioneering a
Absolutely.
future of something that hadn't happened yet. So these people who've been living 10, 20, 30, 40 years, there was no history.
There was no history, yeah.
So you guys actually are making history. That's
Absolutely.
powerful.
Yeah, because Eazy-E, he died. He passed away real quick.
He tied real quick.
Quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was told that it was given to him, through, Suge Knight sticking him with a needle and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a strong rumor too.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
strong rumor.
Oh,
That's a really
really?
strong
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought, all the sex going on, you having unprotected sex.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Yeah,
20 girls.
He
and-
was, but Suge never denied it.
Yeah. Suge never denied it, yeah.
He kind of like, well, things happen. And,
they asked him that?
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
yeah, he said stuff in interviews
Yeah.
that,
Oh,
that,
wow.
you just
Hinting
kill
towards-
people
yeah.
slowly.
Yeah.
You just stick them with a needle. That's the slow way of
Now, I'm
death.
going to tell you, though, HIV is a hard virus to get. It has to be some things going on in your immune system for you to get the HIV. So HIV is not very easy to get.
Okay.
So HIV, when it enters into your body, it depends on what's going on. If you have an STD or STI, HIV, that's the perfect condition for HIV.
Gotcha.
So it has to be something going on in your health for HIV to be able to come in and take over.
Okay, so part of you feel like you're gonna die.
Right.
You got the MAC. Now, take me to the hope. How do you start getting better physically? How did you start growing spiritually? What was some of the things that you actually did? Because what I want to do on this show, and my goal on this show, and that's why I tell people, whoever's going to book anybody to come on my show, people who call on the show, I need description of details so that somebody's listening can actually hear how do I get better?
Right.
How do I overcome obstacles?
Right.
right.
Listen, I can have people up here and we can laugh and joke and generally talk about the things, the wonderful things that they're doing, plug their stuff.
Right.
If I was gonna do that, I just wouldn't be doing this.
Right.
But talk to me about the details and the description of what you actually did to overcome the darkness to get to the light.
Well, it was two things that really like threw me into the public. One of them, I'm gonna tell anybody that's going through any kind of health challenge, you have to get educated about what you're going through. So that's the first thing. You can't fix anything unless you know what you're trying to fix.
Wow.
So you have to read up on it. You have to read what the problems are. You have to read how you can help yourself get better.
Wow. Yeah.
So, in any illness, exercise, eating healthier, cutting out sugar, cutting out salt. I was actually on a program with a gentleman named Dr. Sabi. I was on his program.
Okay.
And so one of my friends, Jacqueline Rowe, introduced me to Dr. Sabi. She paid for my consultation fee. Right. And then I went on to his protocol. He also, Left Eye was also going back and forth to his Honduras healing, his healing clinic down there in Honduras. But, it was all about changing the way I eat, taking meat out my diet. I'm not trying to tell everybody to do that. If you could eat meat 3 times a week versus 7 times a week, it could be very helpful to you. Drinking lots of water, cutting down on alcohol, and then surrounding yourself around positive people who don't care about what you're going through. They just want to support you. Right. That's the first thing. Because, being in the music industry, people would come back. I will never forget. I was in the hospital with Mac.
Okay.
And I was only supposed to be in there 7 days. It turned into 6.5 weeks. I'll never forget. I went in January 29th, 1999, and I came out March 10th. I will never ever forget those days. 1999.
Mac, I know somebody that died from it. That's why I was like, wow.
And it was so fun. When I first heard I had Mac, I started calling people up saying, so Mac. And so I bumped into somebody who knew somebody that had Mac, and they were like, oh, you don't get rid of Mac. It's hard to get rid of Mac. It stays in you. When I got out the hospital, my prayer to God was, please get me off. I had to have a PICC line. So I had to have a permanent IV in my arm. And I said to God, please get rid of this PICC line. I want to get rid of this PICC line by May, and I want my fevers to be cut by May also, by Mother's Day. Because with Mac, you have a fever every day. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. So I had a fever every day. And I went from, in the mornings, my fever might run 101, but by the end of the day, my fever in the nighttime, it would rise up to 104. So I would sweat out like 5 pairs of pajamas every night. And they wouldn't let me out the hospital until the fever broke. So then they was talking about giving me steroids. I was like, nope. I would not take steroids. I would not, besides taking the HIV medications and the antibiotics, very heavy antibiotics that I was being given to knock the bug out of my bone marrow. And I wouldn't do a lot of things they wanted me to do because I felt like, okay, oh my God, it was so awesome.
Wow. So you're talking about you are talking about a life transformation.
Yeah.
Like a design for living. You changed the way with the help of people.
Right. The help of
and
people.
We've been talking.
Yeah.
Yo, we started this show, Jeff, talking about, go get the help. Let the help help you. And don't tell the help how to help you.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, for you, Maria, like, there is a God, because you've helped a lot of people in the music industry, from the shows, the unsigned shows. I remember myself when I was in a group years ago, and I tried to reach you to be on some of the shows that you was doing, and I felt honored to be sitting right by you.
Well, why you didn't reach me? What happened?
Well, you
My
never-
number was everywhere.
You never got back to me.
What?
You know, you
I'm
never got back to
sorry.
me.
You can
But-
come do it now. Do Matt Wayne go down to shine. You still singing?
He had to throw in,
Nah.
you never got back to me.
You never got back to me, but you was busy. You were busy. You had a lot of the legendary hip hop artists that's out today on your shows. And you've helped their career. Some of them got, through the result of your shows, they've gotten signed to different record companies.
Yes.
And you've helped people. So I'm sure God have saw that, and that's why you still
You know
with
what?
us.
That's very true. And then Kenny Green from the group Intro. You know, he died
Intro.
of complications
Yeah.
due to AIDS.
He was the lead singer.
And I took care of him. And I'll never
Wow.
forget when
He's
my
from
friend
Queens.
Yeah.
Jeff Christie came. And no, he was from Detroit.
No, he's from Detroit, but Jeff is from Queens.
Jeff is
Jeff
from
is from
Brooklyn.
One of them.
No, well, he lives. No, Jeff actually lives. I know Jeff personally.
Oh, really?
He lives on off of Megan Avenue in Farmers.
Oh, well, let's go over there and bang on his door.
You know, that's where his studio was at, and while he was signed to the group,
You
at the
sure
time,
right? You sure you
Yeah.
right? Because I remember going to this. You're
Yeah,
100%
that's where his studio
right.
was at. He might have moved by now. He probably
Yeah,
moved.
yeah. So Jeff Christie came to me, and I was salty. I was like, I remember I wanted Intro to do my show, and they wouldn't do. Now you asking me to take care of this guy?
Yeah.
Come on. But I was with him till his death. Me and Jeff and Ashanti. So it was. We have to take care of each other.
Right.
That's what it is at the end of the day. That's what God commands us. He commands us to live, love, and serve.
So as you get better and you start to rejuvenate yourself and come, back from the brink, what was your dating life like?
Oh, forget it. It ain't no dating. You tell people you living with some people. I told I had AIDS on purpose.
No, but at some point you became transparent with your. You let.
And people was up in arms. Oh, I loved her. She was so beautiful. I said, I'm still beautiful. I just life was rough.
Because I wonder as the awareness piece begins to come out, how the ways in which you can't contract it. There was a lot of myths of how you could contract it.
Holding
right?
hands,
Holding hands, playing
drinking
basketball,
off of
basketball,
somebody,
playing
eating
on-
behind
Kissing
them,
somebody.
them spitting on you.
But as those myths begin to get dispelled, did it make it easier for people to interact as far as
Are you
sexually?
kidding me?
No, it's still rough.
People still having unprotected sex like crazy.
Yeah.
No, but I know that. But I'm saying, when someone is honest with a potential date about the fact that they have it,
Oh yeah,
even though you might say, "Hey," but it's undiagnosable. Was it still rough?
yeah. You tell somebody you have HIV or AIDS. I don't care how much information. I mean, you have to really be knowledgeable. I'm kind of dating somebody now. He's knowledgeable, so he knows he can't get the virus from me. But the only problem is I don't know what he's doing, so that's why I got to stop dating him. Because I know what you know what I have, but I don't know what you have. And see, that's what happens. So you can kill me. Forget me killing
Forget
you.
you can killing.
But
Yeah.
you can kill me because you can have a strain of HIV that I don't know about, and where my HIV is manageable now,
Make it unmanageable.
Right.
can make it very unmanageable.
Because my sister-in-law, she's HIV. She caught the virus because she was doing missions. She used to work for the UN,
Oh wow!
and she used to do blood transfusions a lot. When you go to out of the country,
right.
a lot of times she does blood transfusions, and that's how she contracted.
wow.
And
And
she
you
didn't
don't know what kind of blood that person has.
She didn't know. One day she was, she was just losing a lot of weight. She thought she was sick, and she was back and forth from the hospital. They never told her that she has HIV. And one day she was home and she collapsed, and then she was rushed to the hospital, and that's when they tested her for HIV, and that's when she found out. She lost her mobility to speak clearly.
Oh wow!
She's in a wheelchair, so my mother-in-law, bathes her. They live in Florida. Wow. She no longer, she was working for the UN, so now the UN is paying for everything.
Oh,
because she had a great job and she contracted
yeah.
the virus.
Being a mission, yeah. That's sometimes that missionary work.
She's dating somebody now. She's actually dating somebody, someone
wonderful.
that loves her, that's there to support her.
Wonderful.
And the man is not turned his back.
That's beautiful, because I always wondered if there was a like some type of network for people who have HIV, for them to connect with other people that have it.
Well, they had a dating site. They used to have Paz magazine used to do parties and boat rides, but they haven't done that in a while. And then they have I ain't going on none of these dating sites. They have dating sites, but I'm scared. You be looking at the picture and that be somebody else. Picture.
Yeah, well, people is not that honest.
Yeah, people not honest. So
people not that honest.
I'd rather find someone like your sister-in-law did, and I'm sure that they met wherever they met, but it wasn't online. Right. There are people. People say, "Oh, online." That's the new thing. No, it ain't, because you don't know nothing about that person at all. Right. All you know is what they're telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did some positive things. You participated in a 250-mile Boston to New York AIDS bicycle ride
for several years. I didn't even put down. Wow. I did 3 marathons too.
You did 3 marathons.
I walked all 3. When I turned 50, I wanted to do something like, what can you do at 50 besides have a party? Do something like life changing.
Right.
So I marathon 2009.
Wow.
And then I did it again 2010, and then I did it again 2011. And my legs started hurting me.
Okay.
Too bad.
You've also raised a lot of money for AIDS research.
Yeah, for AIDS research.
I work with AMFAR, the American Foundation for AIDS Research. I got the opportunity of giving Janet Jackson an award.
Nice.
Because she's a big advocate for HIV. Mm-hmm. And
because Michael Jackson was also advocate as well.
Yes, he was with Elizabeth Taylor. Right. Elizabeth Taylor was a big advocate for HIV, and so is Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
Elton John, yeah.
He's definitely a big advocate. And who's the gentleman that started the Red campaign? Not Bono. Is it Bono? I have to look it up. One of the big artists. He started the Red campaign. You don't remember back a couple of years ago they would do the Red phone, and Red phone money would go to
that's the color you
AIDS
was
research.
For. Right. You was looking for the color.
Well, there's a lot of people that have done stuff like that.
The Red campaign.
And some people have done things that don't really publicize it like that.
Like Aldo. Aldo Shoes.
Aldo Shoes.
They are big with HIV and AIDS. So is MAC Cosmetics.
Okay.
Well,
they're very big with HIV. Absolutely. Very big with HIV.
And so you have a music industry background. Mm-hmm. Tell us about some of the things you've done with some of the rappers and comedians and different things you've done.
Just providing a platform, for people to be able to. I'm excited about music, and I say this too. I've been doing it for so long because it's my passion, and I'm excited to see people, young people especially, get ahead in their music endeavors.
Right.
The music industry is very different right now.
Right.
I keep telling artists, stop looking for A&R. There's really no A&R out here.
There's no such thing.
You already have to be a packaged product.
Yeah.
You have to have a large following, and you have to have some powerful lawyer that connects with the other people's lawyers that'll get you in.
Is it even necessary to really have managers these days?
No.
You could do a lot of stuff on your own.
On your phone, all kind of apps and this and that and that. And let me tell you something. It's going back to the old days. Independent artists, to me, do better now. Because you remember what? Luke Skywalker. And who else did it? Master P. Did it out the back of his trunk. Snoop Dogg. T.I. Yeah. You had all of those artists selling albums out the back of their trunks and were very successful.
Right.
And I just think that artists need to get back to doing that. Everybody relies on social media. So you have 100 followers. I mean, say you have 5,000 followers. Will those 5,000 people come and see you at a concert?
Wow.
If you're not Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Right.
If they're going to support you that well, they should be able to come
It's
and see
easy
you
to
perform.
push a like button. Yeah. That's easy. I like you.
Right.
But what does those like turn into? Does it turn into relationships long term? Right. Does it turn into you coming to 5 of the different clubs that I'm at 3 of them, and supporting what I do.
Right.
So we're disconnected. You know, when I was in the music industry, we had word of mouth,
Word of mouth, yeah.
email.
Yeah.
You went up into somebody's office. You took flyers. They had posters all up on. I remember all
Yeah. They had
the
the stickers.
promotional guys. They were starting to arrest them and stuff.
Yeah, well,
finding
that's
out
why,
who had the.
us business owners can't do promotions out on the streets
Yeah.
no more because the music industry guys messed it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
They used to put the stickers
Department of
up.
Sanitation.
Everywhere.
The logos was big back then when you was really involved in the Wednesday showcases. When you was doing those showcases, it was about voice. It was about real true talent. Now the
Yes.
music industry, unfortunately, is a little
It's
bit different.
watered down.
Yeah, it's not really about the music too. They just
It's a
about the
hype
following.
factor.
It's a hype factor.
It's a hype factor. It's
You
the
know?
music, the hype, the hype. So I asked my daughter the other day, and I love Cardi B. Will you be listening at 40?
Yeah.
Is that what you gonna be listening to Cardi B at 40? I don't think you know how in the middle of the night they be having the all the Temptations and they got them all in the package and Marilyn McCool and the Delphonics. That is not gonna be like that in 40 years from now.
Yeah, it's gonna be different.
It's gonna be very different. And I could still sing Gladys Knight songs, Aretha Franklin songs,
Kool and the
Dionne
Gang.
Warren, Kool and the Gang.
This I interviewed Kool from Kool and the Gang this morning. Somebody called me up late last night and said, Kool is actually Dawn Michelle. Kool is doing a series of interviews tomorrow morning for some promotion.
Oh wow!
We want you to be one of them.
Oh wow!
And I talked to Kool today, man. That was cool.
That was
cool.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I was honored, and,
Yeah.
and he has a powerful story, and me and him was talking, and a lot of the reason why he's still relevant is because a lot of the positive things that he's doing. This brother owns businesses,
Yeah. Right.
and he's doing his thing. He's very connected.
and his son is a DJ, from my understanding, and following in his footsteps.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some legendary guys, and they've been through a lot of trials and errors in the music industry too.
Absolutely.
So it's good that they're here to explain, what they've been through. Because I know Lisa Evers reminds me of you.
I love Lisa Evers.
She's
done
all
so
in
much.
there.
Listen, she got
Yeah.
a lot of accomplishments. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking here. That's why we send out the questionnaire
Mm-hmm.
so we can get information back. And thanks for filling out the questionnaire. I really
I mean, I was
appreciate it.
like, oh Lord, is he serious with all these questions? He don't want to ask me when I get there.
Yeah, we
But
serious,
I understand
yeah.
it's preparation.
We serious. And
so that
Yeah.
you know about the artists before they get. That's what it's
listen, you
about
see, we
preparation.
serious. We building a brand here.
Yeah.
We're not playing. And so,
And I like this backdrop.
you like it?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I'm gonna have to steal this from you because you know what I was doing in the colleges. I go around to the colleges and
You
I
was putting
called
your
it.
banners up, right? You was using banners. and
No,
stuff?
I call it Conversations with Maria Davis, and I sit on the stage with the light on
the
me,
light on you.
and I just talk about.
Well, you gotta have me
Monologue.
Up there. We monologue.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
Show me out, man. Show me some love. So look, I'm looking at a list of your accomplishments, and it's quite a few. Delta Sigma Theta Community. I probably said it wrong. Service
Theta,
Award.
Delta.
Theta.
Yeah,
William F. Ryan Health Services Community Award.
yeah. I just got
Miss
that.
BAP Inc. Community Service Award. Mother Electra Grand Chapter. Number 12 Community Service Award. Urban League Building Brick Award. CBS Channel 2 Fulfilling the Dream Award. Manhattan Borough President Trailblazer Award. You are a trailblazer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it was more than that. I just like
Women in
know-
Hip Hop Award.
Women in
Yeah.
hip hop. Yeah.
I mean,
NABFEM, National Association of Black Females in Music and Entertainment.
National Black Leadership Commission
Commission
on
on
AIDS.
AIDS.
Choose Life Award. Life Beat.
Life Beat, Urban, Ace.
Yeah.
She said there's so many. I just named a few. Well, goodness gracious.
You know that one. I wish they'd give me some checks.
Yeah.
I love awards.
Right. Give me some checks.
Because I have my own non-for-profit called Can't Be Silenced. So on December 29th, to end the year, we just had a Kwanzaa holiday party with
just
a
had it.
whole bunch of young... I get all my people to do toys, Deidre Tate and Bob Tate
Okay.
from Unlimited Contact.
Okay.
And Tiny Archibald and his
Tiny
wife...
Archibald.
And his
wow.
wife, Tina.
Old school.
They filled the car up. And I mean, it was just incredible. Another good friend of mine, he used to sing, called Lavelle. He used to do my shows too. Riley Wynn, and he's out there in Queens,
Okay.
and just so much love. And many people came together, but the kids had a ball. I have the live band.
Right.
We let the kids get up on the stage and perform. A good friend of mine named Gloria Ryan.
Beautiful.
You thought that you was at the Whitney Houston concert. That's how beautiful she sings. We had face painting.
Nice.
And we had my DJ that's been with me for many years. His name is Bring Him Out now. He was DJ McBoo back then. But he was part of the KRS ones.
McBoo.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we and my son Scotch Davis, he hosts Mad Wednesday with me. So I have like a whole, crew, Josette, Lynette at my door, Rufus David. I have it, and the Shrine.
Gotcha.
So where I do my showcases, black owned. He's from Burkina Faso. And they have 3 restaurants. They have Utanga, Shrine is next door, and then they have another one called Savannah's.
Nice.
But I've been at Shrine, it's going on 9 years now.
Nice. So what else you got going on that we could look forward to? Because
Some book. I need to get my books done.
see your
Anybody out
future
there
plans.
wanna?
Your future plans is like you want to write 5 more books.
Yes, 5 books. Do some TV commercials because I keep telling people with AIDS, we eat chocolate chip cookies and drink milk and use deodorant too. I have to say that. People think because you live with the virus, you do some other special stuff. No, we do the same thing everybody else does. And also started my own podcast.
Okay.
So Dawn Michelle is working with me on that. Nice. And hopefully I'll be doing it with Fly Tie of Cold Chillin' Records.
Okay.
Fly Tie.
Yeah,
Wow.
Fly Tie.
He got a story.
And it's going to be on health.
Okay.
Health, hustling for your health.
Hustling for your health.
Yes, the way you hustle for your music. Without your health, it's no music.
Right.
Without your health, there's no living. So
listen.
you have to focus, first and foremost, is self-care. You don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be here to do nothing.
Very important.
No doubt. No doubt.
So
No doubt. Did you got guessed this? Did you get anything? Or we ain't guessing nothing today? Okay. So listen. I wanna tell everybody, the audience, how they can get in touch with you. Plug all your social media stuff, please.
So I think I'm Davis_Maria13. Yes, that's right. Because I thought it was Maria_Davis, but it's Davis_Maria13.
Right.
And Facebook, I'm Maria Antoinette Davis. And on Twitter, it's Maria Speaks to You.
Well, listen. Wow. She is the current event because she's gonna be the current events for the day, right? And we'll do current events next time. But listen, do you have any words that you would just like to, before we close, that you would like to say to anybody who has the virus or just maybe contracted it? Just give them some
Or
words of
just going through
inspiration.
life circumstances.
Right.
You know, what I tell people all the time is it does not define who you are. God made you perfect. God made you powerful, unshakable, and you're God's beloved. God's spirit rests in you, and in you God finds favor. So you can't let the world, society, and what's going on today dictate who you are. You have to know who you are. That is the only way you're going to be able to survive in life. You have to know what God placed in you, and that He placed in you power and authority, and that you have to take that and you have to own that. And that is the only way you're going to overcome anything in life, no matter what it is. You have to know that you're special and that you are the I remember we went on a women's retreat. We went to to Grand Canyon, and Reverend Lakeisha, because I go to First Corinthian Baptist Church. Shout out to Michael A. Wallen Jr. and Reverend Lakeisha, and Reverend Lakeisha, when we finished on the Grand Canyon trip, she said, "Do you know you are the 8th wonder of the world?" I was like, "Whoa." There's 7 wonders, but we are the 8th wonder because God made us. And so you know, you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. We know negative things seep in. All of us have that in us. That sometimes I lay on my bed and I'm, depressed and I don't know and then I have to get up and say, God didn't create me to be sitting on the side of the bed being depressed. He gave me, like, every day that you breathe and you can get up, you need to be moving towards the finish line. Because we all gonna leave here.
Yeah.
And listen,
And what they say, that dash between your birth and your death, what are you going to do with that dash? Is it just going to be a dash that when people at your funeral, oh, they were self-centered, they didn't do nothing? Or you want people to say they left fingerprints on people?
and I will close with this. People might not necessarily remember what you say. They might not necessarily remember what you do, but they will always remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People are always going to remember how you make them feel.
And y'all made me feel good today.
And you made us
Thank
feel
you
good.
thank you for letting me be on Conversations with Malik.
Even with the
It's
joke
been
food?
another
Yes.
great episode. And we close the show in normal fashion. We love you, and there's nothing you could do about it.
All we got is chips.
Peace.
All they have is chips, honey.